is Sharon Cohen. I work for Adbusters magazine and I work on the blackspot shoe campaign. The blackspot shoe campaign is something pretty unique and unusual. If you think about it, it doesn't really have much logic behind it in that we're a magazine making a shoe. How did that happen? It would be like Nike trying to make a magazine. So it is something totally unique. And the reason we did it is because for many, many years, Adbusters has been criticizing the status quo, criticizing exploitative planetary practices, exploitative labor practices, and saying that we need to make changes. We've been talking about the issues, we've been discussing them, we've been debating them, lefties have been talking about them endlessly, but in actual fact problems still exist. And we decided we needed to come up with a more active, participatory, concrete approach to the various problems we felt were out there. This is the classic original blackspot sneaker. It looks like the Chuck Taylor Converse shoe, and that was deliberate. It was kind of meant to be a Converse knockoff because Converse was sort of traditionally the shoe worn by anarchists and activists and renegades from James Dean onwards. And many people were not aware of the fact that Nike has in fact taken over Converse. So it's no longer really a symbol of being an activist or being anti-establishment. It's just another big spoke in the corporate wheel. So we wanted to provide an ethical alternative for people who traditionally favored the Chuck Taylor. So the blackspot sneaker was born. The red spot on the toe tip is symbolic of kicking corporate ass. So, and we're doing that. We basically launched this campaign with several goals in mind. It's an anti-sweatshop campaign, it's an anti-corporate campaign, it's an anti-logo campaign, it's a pro-environmental campaign, and it's a pro-grassroots capitalism campaign. So there are kind of a lot of issues we address with the one concept and the one product. But having said that, the product is somewhat incidental. It's a statement that we're trying to make, and we're trying to make it in a very unique way. Getting the whole thing started was incredibly difficult. As I said, we're a magazine making a shoe. What do we know about the shoe business? Absolutely nothing. Probably the hardest part was finding a factory. We searched for probably about a year before we actually found a factory that we felt met our criteria, which obviously were very strict in terms of fair labor practices. In the end, we couldn't source it on our own. We had to engage the services of somebody else who has become our production consultant. It's Robin Webb of Vegetarian Shoes in the UK. And he's been a very, very important part of the whole campaign. We kind of wouldn't have gotten it together without him. The V2 Unswoosher was born. We are very proud of this one. With this shoe, we let John Fluvog, the designer, have total carte blanche. We wanted to make it even more environmentally friendly than the first shoe was. So 100% recycled car tire sole. So we kind of label this as being the most earth-friendly shoe in the world, and it probably is, in view of the fact that it is the organic hemp upper and has the recycled car tire sole. We decided we wanted to work with hemp rather than cotton because even though you can get organic cotton, we felt that organic hemp was actually, in the long run, a lot more environmentally friendly in that hemp plants actually enrich the soil in which they grow, whereas cotton plants are actually they sort of strip the soil of its nutrients. So strictly speaking, hemp is a lot more environmentally friendly than cotton, even if both are organically grown. So hemp was obtained through Ecolution, and they've been partners with us since day one, so that's been great. If you live in an urban area, you cannot go through a day without seeing a swoosh somewhere. That kind of pervasive marketing, that in-your-face, no-holds-barred marketing and advertising is one of the reasons that we're doing this shoe. What we're doing with the shoe is a statement against that entirely, and that's also borne by the anti-logo statement that we have here, where your swoosh would normally be, or other brand identification, we have the anti-logo statement. Once retailers have bought shoes from us, they can pretty much do with them as they please. We sort of feel it would be undemocratic for us to impose any kinds of regulations on them. If they want to advertise the shoes, they can do so. Some retailers I know have advertised in university publications. They can put up posters in their stores or in their community, whatever they choose. They can charge whatever price they like. We don't impose anything on them. But the whole advertising thing is quite controversial in that we ourselves have done a bit of advertising. We've taken out some really small ads in a couple of independent newspapers, in Satya magazine. So we have done some advertising, and we've also obviously featured the shoe in our own magazine in spreads that could in fact be construed as adverts. We've come under fire for having done so. We've come under fire for a lot of things over the years, but we like that because it is controversial. There are grey areas. It's not just all black and white. And grey areas are the places where discussion happens. It stimulates debate, it stimulates arguments, it makes people question and challenge and seek alternatives. If you're saying this is wrong, why is it wrong? And what do you propose as an alternative? So hopefully we're pushing people to explore various options and try and come up with preferable alternatives. Everybody who buys a pair of blackspot shoes automatically becomes a member of the Blackspot Anti-Corporation. And when they buy a pair of shoes, there's a shareholder document in the box. And each shareholder document has a unique login number. And once you have your shareholder certificate, you'll log into our website, the members zone. And that gives you access to the shareholder forums, and people are constantly online discussing various issues. So when the time comes, we'll hold a vote, and the shareholders will decide what the next products will be, and we hope to continue to grow for many years to come.